The first time Kang Min-jae saw Amara Williams, he laughed. Not because she had said something funny. Not because she had embarrassed herself. He laughed because she was standing in the middle of his grandmother's enormous Seoul mansion wearing a black suit, heavy boots, and a short natural hairstyle that made her look nothing like the elegant women his family had spent years introducing to him. She stood with her shoulders straight and her hands tucked into the pockets of her trousers. She looked completely unimpressed by the luxurious room around her. Min-jae stared at her. Then he looked at his grandmother. Then back at Amara. That's her. His grandmother's expression hardened. Her name is Amara. Min-jae gave a small laugh. I know her name. I'm asking if that's the woman you expect me to marry. Amara slowly turned toward him. Their eyes met. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. She had expected arrogance. She had expected wealth. She had expected a spoiled Korean heir who believed money could buy everything. What she hadn't expected was how openly he would insult her. Min-jae walked closer. His expensive black suit fitted him perfectly. His dark hair was neatly styled, and the expensive watch around his wrist probably cost more than everything Amara owned. He stopped in front of her. You don't look like a bride. Amara raised an eyebrow. And you don't look like a groom. His smile disappeared. His grandmother covered her mouth to hide a smile. Amara turned away. Good. We've established that neither of us is impressed. Min-jae's jaw tightened. Nobody spoke to him that way. Nobody. Especially not a woman his grandmother had apparently chosen to become his wife. His grandmother, Chairman Kang's widow, had been the head of the Kang family since her husband's death. She was 72 years old, but nobody in the family dared underestimate her. She looked between the two young adults. Sit. Neither moved. I said sit. They sat. Min-jae leaned backward. Amara remained upright. His grandmother placed 2 documents on the table. The marriage will take place in 3 weeks. Min-jae immediately stood. No. Amara didn't move. Min-jae stared at his grandmother. I won't marry someone I don't know. You don't know most of the women you've dated. His face changed. Amara almost smiled. His grandmother continued. This marriage is not simply about romance. I don't care. You will. She pushed the documents toward him. Your grandfather left controlling shares in Kang International under a condition. Min-jae stared at the papers. What condition? The heir must be married before his 31st birthday. Silence. Amara finally looked up. Min-jae's expression became cold. You've got to be kidding me. I'm not. And if I refuse? You lose control of the company. That landed heavily. Kang International was worth billions. It was the company Min-jae had spent his entire adult life preparing to lead. His father had died when Min-jae was young. His older brother had disappeared from the family years ago after a bitter disagreement. That left Min-jae as the only legitimate heir. His grandmother knew exactly where to press. Min-jae looked at Amara. And she. Amara crossed her arms. I'm not desperate to marry you either. Then why are you here? My father and your grandmother made an agreement. Min-jae's eyes narrowed. What agreement? Amara's expression changed. My father's company is in financial trouble. She hated admitting it. Her father, Michael Williams, had built a logistics company in Lagos and later expanded into international shipping. But after an investment went wrong, the company was drowning in debt. Kang International had offered a rescue package. There was only one condition. The Williams family would enter a strategic alliance with the Kang family. And Amara would marry Min-jae. Neither of them had chosen this. Both of them were trapped. Min-jae leaned forward. So we're both being sold. Amara looked at him. Apparently. He laughed bitterly. Wonderful. His grandmother stood. You will spend the next 3 weeks getting to know each other. Min-jae scoffed. And if we hate each other? Then learn to hate each other politely. She walked away. Amara watched her leave. Min-jae remained seated. After several seconds, he spoke. I want one thing. What? No pretending. Amara nodded. Agreed. No acting like we're some romantic couple. Fine. No touching unless necessary. Fine. No expectations. Amara smiled. Perfect. Min-jae stood. He extended his hand. Then we have an agreement. Amara looked at his hand, then shook it. Neither noticed his grandmother watching them from the doorway. She smiled, because she knew something they didn't. Forced marriages were sometimes the beginning of the greatest love stories. 3 weeks later, the wedding was extravagant. It was also completely emotionless. The Korean press called it the wedding of the year. Business magazines described it as a historic merger between two powerful families. Social media exploded. Everyone wanted to know about the mysterious black woman marrying one of Seoul's most eligible bachelors. Amara hated the attention. She hated the cameras. She hated the expensive white wedding dress. And most of all, she hated the man standing beside her. Min-jae looked as if he were attending a business conference. When the priest asked him whether he accepted Amara as his wife, he paused. His grandmother's eyes narrowed. Min-jae finally answered, "Yes." Then it was Amara's turn. She looked at him. His face was unreadable. "Yes." The applause began. They smiled for photographs. But beneath the smiles, both knew the truth. This wasn't love. It was a contract. That evening, they arrived at the Kang family residence. The house was enormous. Amara entered the bedroom assigned to them. She stopped. There was one bed. A huge bed. She slowly turned around. Min-jae walked in behind her. He looked at the bed, then at her. "No." Amara nodded. "Absolutely not." He pointed toward the couch. "I'll sleep there." "Fine." She walked toward the closet. Min-jae watched her unpack. She removed sneakers, hoodies, t-shirts, jeans, a few dresses. Then she pulled out boxing gloves. Min-jae blinked. "Why do you have those?" "I box." "You box?" "Yes." "You." She turned. "What exactly does that mean?" He quickly looked away. "Nothing." Amara smirked. "You think I'm too feminine to box?" "I didn't say that." "You thought it." "I didn't." She walked closer. "You're terrible at lying." He looked at her. "And you're terrible at being a wife." Amara smiled. "Good." She grabbed a pillow. "Then we're both terrible at this." She walked toward the couch. Min-jae watched her settle down. For the first time that day, he almost smiled. Almost. The first crack. 3 days passed. Their marriage became a strange routine. Min-jae left early for work. Amara trained at a local boxing gym. She refused to spend her husband's money. She refused his expensive car. She refused the designer clothes his grandmother sent. She even refused the personal assistant assigned to her. This irritated Min-jae. "You are my wife. I'm aware. You don't have to live like you're homeless." "I'm not." "You've refused everything." "I don't need everything." Min-jae stared at her. "You are impossible." Amara shrugged. "And you're spoiled." He walked away. But something had changed. He had begun noticing things. Amara always woke before him. She made her own breakfast. She helped the elderly housekeeper carry groceries. She learned Korean faster than anyone expected. And every night, she called her father. She never told him she was struggling. Instead, she said things like, "I'm fine, Dad. Don't worry about me. How's the company? Have you eaten?" Min-jae overheard one conversation. Her father's voice sounded exhausted. Amara smiled through it. After the call ended, she sat alone in the kitchen. Her smile disappeared. Min-jae stood in the doorway. "You don't have to pretend around me." Amara looked up. "I'm not pretending." "You were." She looked away. "My father is sick." Min-jae's expression softened. "What's wrong?" "He has been under too much stress." "Does he know about the marriage?" "Yes." "Does he regret it?" Amara smiled sadly. "He regrets needing it." Min-jae said nothing. Then he placed something on the table. A folder. She opened it. Her eyes widened. "What is this?" "The latest financial report on your father's company." She looked at him. "You investigated?" "I had my people look into it." "Why?" He shrugged. "Because we're married." That was the first time Amara realized something. Min-jae might have been arrogant. He might have been cold. But he wasn't heartless. The party. 2 weeks after the wedding, Min-jae took Amara to a corporate dinner. She didn't want to go. "You have to." "Why?" Because you're my wife. She stared at him. That excuse is getting old. It's still valid. She sighed. Fine. When she appeared downstairs wearing a simple black dress, Min-jae stopped walking. He hadn't expected it. Amara had always dressed casually. But now she looked different. Elegant. Confident. Beautiful. He stared too long. She noticed. What? He quickly looked away. Nothing. She smiled. Thought so. At the party, several wealthy women surrounded Min-jae. One of them laughed. Min-jae, you actually married her? Amara heard it. She turned. The woman looked her up and down. She doesn't look like someone from your world. Min-jae's expression darkened. Before Amara could respond, he stepped forward. She's my wife. The woman laughed. I know. No. His voice became colder. You clearly don't. The room went quiet. Min-jae placed his hand lightly against Amara's back. Let's go. Amara followed him. Outside, she looked at him. You didn't have to defend me. Yes, I did. Why? He hesitated. Because nobody humiliates my wife. She stared at him. Something moved inside her chest. But she ignored it. Thank you. He nodded. They continued walking. Neither noticed the paparazzi watching them. By morning, photographs of Min-jae protecting his wife were everywhere. The headlines changed. The woman everyone thought was an embarrassment to the Kang family had suddenly become the woman Seoul was fascinated by. And Min-jae hated one thing about the attention. He liked seeing her smile. The night everything changed. Rain fell heavily that night. Amara returned home late from the boxing gym. Her knuckles were bruised. Min-jae was waiting. You fought. She looked at her hands. Training. Your hand is bleeding. It's nothing. He walked closer. Sit. I'm fine. Amara. She stopped. He rarely said her name like that. She sat. Min-jae brought the first aid kit. He gently cleaned her knuckles. She watched him. You don't have to do that. I know. Then why are you? He didn't answer. His fingers moved carefully over her hand. For a moment, the room was silent. They were closer than they had ever been. Amara could hear his breathing. Min-jae looked up. Their eyes met. Something shifted. He immediately released her hand. Done. Amara looked at him. Right. Neither slept easily that night. The morning after. The following morning, Min-jae woke before sunrise. He looked toward the couch. Amara wasn't there. He sat up. Then he heard movement from the kitchen. He walked downstairs. Amara was cooking. She wore an oversized shirt and loose trousers. She turned. Morning. Morning. He watched her. You cook? Sometimes. What are you making? Breakfast. For who? She looked at him. Who else is here? He smiled slightly. It was the first genuine smile she had seen from him. They ate together. For once, there was no argument. No contract. No family pressure. Just two people sitting across from each other. After breakfast, Amara stood. I need to go to the gym. Min-jae caught her wrist gently. She turned. Amara. Yes. He didn't know what he wanted to say. So he released her. Nothing. She walked away. He watched her disappear. And for the first time, Min-jae admitted something he had been refusing to acknowledge. He was falling for his wife. Part 2. The woman behind the tomboy. Weeks passed. The marriage changed. Not publicly. Privately. Min-jae began coming home earlier. Amara began waiting for him. They started eating together. They argued about movies. They teased each other. Sometimes they laughed until midnight. Min-jae discovered that Amara loved old Korean dramas. Amara discovered that Min-jae secretly loved spicy food despite pretending he didn't. Their relationship became something neither had planned. One evening, Min-jae returned home with flowers. Amara stared at them. What's that? Flowers. I can see that. They're for you. She laughed. Why? Because you're my wife. You've used that excuse before. This time it's true. She accepted them. Thank you. He smiled. Then she noticed something. You bought the wrong flowers. His face dropped. What? These are lilies. Yes. I'm allergic to lilies. He froze. She burst out laughing. He stared at her. That's not funny. It is. You're laughing at my mistake. Yes. He took the flowers away. Fine. Min-jae. He walked toward the door. She followed him laughing. For the first time in years, Min-jae's house sounded like a home. But happiness never lasted long in the Kang family. The return of the brother. One afternoon, the front doors opened. A man walked into the mansion. He was tall, cold-eyed, and carrying years of resentment. Kang Hyun-woo, Min-jae's older brother. The family believed he had left Korea permanently. He had returned. And he wanted everything Min-jae had, including the company, including the inheritance. And perhaps most importantly, Amara. Hyun-woo had met her before the wedding. He had been fascinated by her strength. Now he intended to use it. He approached her one evening. You don't love him. Amara frowned. Excuse me, Min-jae. What makes you think you know my marriage? Hyun-woo smiled. Because I know my brother. Amara walked away. But he followed. He's using you. She stopped. How? Your father's company. Her expression changed. What about it? Ask Min-jae how much money Kang International has invested. She turned. What are you talking about? Hyun-woo smiled. Exactly. He walked away. That night, Amara confronted Min-jae. How much money has your company given my father's business? Min-jae became silent. Amara. How much? Enough to keep it alive. She stared at him. Why didn't you tell me? Because you would have worried. It's my family. I know. Then why hide it? He stood. Because I didn't want your father to feel like he owed me. She stared at him. Her anger weakened. Min-jae? I didn't do it because of the contract. Then why? He looked directly at her. Because I care about you. Silence. Amara's heart raced. She had expected an excuse. Instead, she got the truth. The first kiss. That night, neither of them slept. Amara stood on the balcony. Min-jae joined her. For several minutes, they watched the Seoul skyline. Do you regret marrying me? He asked. She looked at him. At first. He laughed softly. Fair. What about you? He thought about it. At first. And now? He turned toward her. Now I don't know how to imagine this house without you. Amara's heart skipped. Min-jae? He stepped closer. If I kiss you, will you regret it? She didn't answer. Instead, she stepped closer. That was enough. Their lips met. The kiss was gentle at first. Then emotional. Not rushed. Not forced. It was the kiss of two people who had spent months pretending they felt nothing. When they finally separated, Amara rested her forehead against his. This changes everything. I know. And we're supposed to hate each other. I think we're failing. She laughed. So badly. He smiled. For the first time, there was no contract between them. No business deal. No family pressure. Just love. The next morning, Amara woke up in Min-jae's bedroom. Sunlight filled the room. For a moment, she didn't remember where she was. Then she turned. Min-jae was beside her, fully dressed in a shirt and trousers, sleeping peacefully. She smiled. He opened his eyes. You're staring. You noticed. I always notice you. She laughed. That's new. He reached for her hand. No more pretending. She nodded. No more pretending. Then his phone rang. He answered. His expression changed. What? He sat upright. Who? Silence. Amara watched his face. He ended the call. What happened? My grandfather's will has been challenged. By who? He looked at her. Hyun-woo. The peace of the morning disappeared. Part 3. The War for the Kang Family. Hyun-woo launched a legal attack against Min-jae. He claimed the marriage was fraudulent. He claimed Amara had married Min-jae only to gain access to the Kang fortune. The Korean media exploded. Amara became a target. Every photograph of her was analyzed. Every interview she had ever given was examined. Some called her a gold digger. Others called her an opportunist. She refused to respond. Min-jae wanted her to stay inside. She refused. I'm not hiding. They'll attack you. They already are. I can protect you. I don't need you to fight every battle for me. He stared at her. I know. She smiled. But you can stand beside me. He nodded. I can do that. They entered the courtroom together. The room fell silent. Hyunwoo's lawyers presented documents. They claimed the marriage had been arranged for business purposes. The judge looked toward Min-jae. Is that true? Min-jae stood. Yes. The courtroom erupted. Amara's face became still. The judge asked. So this marriage was arranged? Yes. Hyunwoo smiled. But Min-jae continued. It began as an arrangement. Everyone became silent. But it didn't remain one. He looked at Amara. I married her because I was forced to. Then he smiled. But I stayed because I fell in love with her. Amara's eyes filled with tears. Min-jae continued. My wife never asked for my money. She never demanded luxury. She never asked me for anything. He turned toward the judge. She gave me something my family never could. The judge waited. A home. Silence. Amara looked down. Min-jae reached for her hand. And if I have to choose between the company and her, I will choose her. The courtroom went completely quiet. Hyunwoo's smile disappeared. Because he had underestimated one thing. Min-jae was no longer fighting for an inheritance. He was fighting for his family. The final trap. Hyunwoo wasn't finished. He leaked financial documents accusing Amara's father of fraud. The news spread across Nigeria and Korea. Amara immediately flew home. Min-jae followed. They discovered the documents were fake. Hyunwoo had created them to destroy the Williams family. But he had made one mistake. Amara's father had kept original records. With the evidence, Min-jae's legal team exposed Hyunwoo's scheme. The authorities investigated. Hyunwoo's control over the family company collapsed. The Kang family finally saw the truth. He hadn't wanted justice. He had wanted power. 3 months later, the Kang family mansion was different. It was warmer, louder, and much happier. Amara stood in the garden. She was wearing a simple dress. Min-jae approached from behind. You look beautiful. She turned. You finally learned how to compliment your wife. I'm improving. She smiled. He held out a small box. She stared. What is that? Open it. Inside was a ring. Not a wedding ring. Something simpler. A thin gold band with a small inscription. Amara read it. Not for business. For love. She looked at him. You bought me another ring? This one isn't part of a contract. He took her hand. This one is my choice. She smiled. Then I choose you too. He kissed her forehead. They stood together beneath the evening sky. Months earlier, Min-jae had mocked her for being a tomboy. He had thought she wasn't elegant enough. Not feminine enough. Not suitable for his world. He had been wrong. Because Amara had never needed to change. She had never needed to become someone else to be loved. She simply needed someone capable of seeing her. And eventually, Min-jae did. The woman he had once been forced to marry had become the woman he couldn't imagine living without. And the marriage that began as a business arrangement had become something neither money nor family politics could destroy. Love. Real love. The kind neither of them had expected. The kind neither of them could escape. And as Amara rested her head against his shoulder, Min-jae whispered the words he should have said from the beginning. I choose you. She smiled. And I choose you. This time, there was no contract. No arrangement. No pressure. Just two people who had finally found each other.